I'm gonna just start putzing around with the Galaxie. I thought maybe I would put the tail lights in. So I gotta clean these metal pieces up just a little bit, but I got a new set of bezels, and I got new lenses. These are NOS Ford. These are not reproduction. They were rather difficult to find and they were rather expensive. But I got a superb deal on these ones because this particular one has, if it shows up there, a little wee crack up in the, I don't know if it shows up right by that little nut there. And probably somebody tightened that nut too tight at the assembly plant and it cracked the plastic there, but that's the only thing I really see, you know, and you got to really look to see it, and that'll be, you know, way up at the top there in that molding. So that'll look good, and so we'll put those on too. And I got new, these were expensive. These are the rubbers for the, you know, right here, so that if it rains I don't want water getting in the body. And these are for the lens to the housing. So that gasket between right in here, and then this is for the backup light, the ground and the power. Obviously the stop and turn lamp, and that's what goes to the power and for the backup light. So you actually have to take these assemblies apart to change the reverse light bulb. You got to take out these screws and take this assembly off, and then the backup lamp is accessible because that's in the center of the stoplight area. You can see this lens here is pretty rough, but that looked okay because, you know, it was hidden behind the trim. It's the whole bottom of this lens is broken, so I suspect when that bumper was twisted in, something, you know, hit it here. A little dirt there. That's another thing too, the dust on the car is phenomenal. You know, up here this is all dirty. That's why this doesn't look as shiny as this, because that's all I've done is blown this off with compressed air to keep the dust down on it. But I don't know if you can see it. Sitting and look over the hood, you can see the dust across the hood. So that's why this door and fenders and hood don't look as shiny as this right now, because the amount of dust on it. I should wipe it down, get a bucket of water with a sponge and a chamois and wipe it down, but it'll just get more dusty when I get to working on that door, and I'll be blowing it off the air hose again. So I just figure I'll wait until I'm done. And this is going to get dust on it, but the paint's totally dry to the touch. You know, I mean, I can push into it and everything, but I'm still takes about a month for it to cure really good to where you can buff it and, you know, lean on it and stuff like that. If, you know, somebody leaned on it now, it could still mark the paint. I doubt it. I mean, it's been 48 hours now, so it's probably perfectly fine. And but the longer you let it harden, enamels take a while to hear. Acrylic enamels do to cure. They're good durable paint though. You know, base clears, I could have base cleared this car and it would have been a lot less effort, but you know, it doesn't have the clears start to peel after time, and I guarantee you this will outlast a base clear by a decade anyway. And but base clears are way easier to spray, way easier. They make this, you know, they're almost like just nothing. You know, you can sand them out, the colors clear, you know, you can put the color on, sand it out, clear over, you can sand that clear out and buff it, and you don't have to worry about disturbing the paint. But I like I say, I like using acrylic enamels because of their durability. I'm all about longevity. I do a car, I want it to last. Well, I got one bezel in these, and these are new old stock. I don't know if that shows up, but it says Famalco, has the part number. And you got to be careful when you buy NOS stuff that sometimes, you know, they're not like new because of, you know, 40 or 50 years of shelf wear. But these are in pretty nice shape. You can see a couple little, just very, very minor pits, 2 or 3 minor pits in the bezel, which is typical NOS, but I'm not concerned about it. This one has just maybe 2 or 3 little marks that you got to really get down as close as I am right now to see it. But this bezel goes in, and then that lens goes in, and the aluminum or the metal part can goes over that behind in here. So you don't need to take this off to get the thing out to change the lamp. You just need to take these. There's 4 little nuts in here, and the kit comes with new studs for in here and all the nuts. The kit that these came in. The boxes that these were in were just beyond, you know, they were just horrible. So when I got them from the guy, he gave me that box to put them in, and I think I don't remember where I got these. I think I picked these up at a swap meet or something. I just don't remember. It's been so long. The taillight lenses I bought on eBay, and we'll get these in next. Yeah, that's going to look super nice. We'll get them in and light them up. This rubber, see how it's shaped, pushes down in that groove, and these go over those nuts like so. That way everything's nicely sealed. Look at that. How often do you see that anymore? Manufactured in USA. That's the Ford part number there. Right across here. Hopefully that shows up in the video. Alright, let me get these in. And we got the other bezel in. And I don't know if the dirt on the old paint here, let me raise this up. So you look down here, it's a perfect view. Okay, this looks grayer because look at all that dust that I just wiped off there. So yeah, the car needs a good, any of the paint that's been on it for a while needs a really good cleaning. But when you wipe that dust off, this looks just as nice as that, and you can't see any color difference whatsoever. And this was the door jamb paint, and that's the body paint. So it's an absolute 100% perfect match, even with different gallons of paint. And you know, I've never painted a whole car all at once in all the years I've done cars, never. And some of them that, you know, like the Pontiac, I didn't even paint the whole car. Like the Pontiac, I only painted below the trim on it. And so you can really truly see that, you know, this stuff will match well. You know, if it's all mixed exactly the same, it does a good job of matching. After taking these nuts off, there's 4 of them. This one, the whole stud came out, but then you lift this off and take out the backup light socket. And then I'm going to go clean this up, and that's the lens, and you can kind of see where it's broken up there. This is I'm assuming the original lens to the car, and I think this was the light off the left side, so this light, this back piece I'm going to put back on the left side. Just kind of keep everything together. But I'm going to take this and wash it up in the laundry tub. Look at that weather strip is still okay. So I'll just leave all this stuff here with the old original light, and I'll put these back in the box and save them for when I sell the car. If the next owner wants them or not, we can have them with the car. But let me go and clean this mess up, and then I'll put the new light in. There we go, a little bit of soap and water and a bit of car wax, and that thing cleaned up like brand new. There was a sticker there at one time, and I just left the, there, right there, I just left the adhesive on it. Figured, you know, it's kind of keep it that original looking, but there we be. And it's another lovely day, by the way. It's another rainy day, but at least it's, I don't know, it's 65 maybe. It's actually halfway nice out. It should be in the 70s now, but it's Michigan, so what do you expect? I used a little contact cement to hold that gasket on, just make life a little easier. Well, there's one light installed, and I'll show you on the inside too. There we be. Looks super good. Yeah, it was a piece of tape. You can see it on that one. That's what was there, so I just left the adhesive there, but yeah, and I left the wiring that U-Haul had put on the little butt things just because that's part of the car's history, but I did tuck the wiring back up in there where it's supposed to go so you don't see it all hanging down in there. So there we go, one tail light in. Maybe I'll clean up that bit of trim that goes here and reinstall that too in the next day or two. Alright, this is why I got these new old stock lenses really cheap. They both had a little tiny crack in them. This one's got this crack right here. Oops. But it's underneath this, so you only see a little bit of it right there in the corner of that. And I might just put a drop of glue on that and call it good. But it's a new lens. It's going to look amazing in there. And I waxed this up so I can put it in all nice and shiny. I got to take the wax off. It's just drying on there right now. Hit both sides, just kind of, you know, so it protects it and looks nice. There we go, all cleaned up and the gasket glued on there. It just makes it easier. You know, that makes assembly a ton easier. I think that's the original. I don't know. It's got, well, how clean that socket is in the bulb base, but it says GEE 1156 Canada. So I don't know. This may have been replaced at one time, but I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably the original bulb, and I've never changed it. It could have very well been changed in the past. I have no idea, but sure is a clean. You know, usually you don't find taillight or backup light sockets are usually so badly corroded, and you know, I got to clean them in toilet bowl cleaner or replace them. They're usually so bad. These ones, even the light sockets, and these are even like brand new. Look at that. A little tiny bit of corrosion on there, but that thing, this one says TS 1157, and it's actually got a little bit of spatter paint on it, so I'll clean that off and put it back in the socket. But the bulb looks good. We'll check them all once we get the taillights in. There, now you can see how the reverse light goes in, and then this, you know, just holds it in the assembly on the car. It just pushes it up in. You can see the gasket around the edge. Well, they work now. The turn signal blinks quick because there's no front lights in the car. I haven't even put the wiring harness in yet. Let me put that blinker on. You can see the indicator on the dashboard there blinking. We'll put the other one on and see how that one looks out here. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, the camera just doesn't look like it does it justice, but those lights look amazing illuminated. Yeah, really nice. I put the gas tank door cover back on so I wouldn't accidentally drop it and mess it up. And the bumpers, everything's on. So that looks pretty darn good. Works good. There we be. Finally got the rubber grommets to put in where the body mounts are, the body plugs are. So this compartment's pretty much all done. You know, I just have to vacuum it out and do some oiling and undercoating. And maybe if we get an 80-degree day next week, I think they're talking maybe towards the end of next week, the 80s, I'll get all the trunk mats out, everything out of the, it's all stored in my attic. Get it out and wash it and let it dry in the sun and reinstall it. Time to get the door apart and off the car. Getting the door panel off, and I noticed that on the door panel here it has a label, and it looks like it says Ford Motor Company Trim Plant Certified April 21st 32 Quality Control. So there we go. Pretty close to when I rolled off the line if this was the 23rd for the door panel, and the car rolled off the line on the 29th of April. Let me get that paper off. I'm gonna work at it carefully. I don't want to tear it. I want to put it back on. And so let me get that off, and I'll start getting the trim and glass out and stuff. And doors appears to be in much better shape than the other door. This window was really hard to roll up and down. You'd have to pull up to roll it up and push down to roll it down. And I wanted to make sure the window regulator was good before I tore the door apart. So I got my trusty oil can here and oiled all the pivots and everything in there, and the window goes up and down beautifully now. So that doesn't need to be replaced. And the wing window, I lubricated the vent window regulator, and that works really good too. But the weather strip, I think, on the window needs to be replaced. So it was kind of all tucked. You can see here where I pulled it back out with a putty knife before I closed it. But you can see part of the little bit of what holds this rubber that way right there. So I think, you know, over the years this window has been closed. You can see where it's kind of bit into that, to where that's been smashed in, and the glass has been against it, and then it doesn't seal down here. So that probably whistled all the time when it was closed. So I'll see if I can get a new rubber for here. But I think I was going to let me show you some things in here. I'll show you the bottom of the door too on the inside. But this window, this door, the other window I think was missing a screw there too. This door panel has never been off, but it looks like the screw is just worked out or fallen out, or looked like it had a screw in that hole originally, but it's just not there anymore. And you can see where I lubricated. That thing just turns super easy. Well, I can't turn it with my fingers because it's turned closed to hold that closed, but I'm going to leave that. I'm going to see if I can see those screws are the ones I got to get this trim off. And with the window down still in front of it, so I'm going to take the stop out and see if I can get those screws out and loosen those up enough to see if I can get the trim up and out. I don't remember. I think there might have been screws in behind here, but if I have to take this assembly out, so be it. I'm going to be taking the latch out, and might as well just take it all apart. But I think it'd just be easier to take the glass out than to try and carry the door around with the glass, you know, down in it, and it'll be easier to work on the door. But show you that's part of the window regulator there. I'll show you the inside bottom of the door too. It looks quite nice. So let me put that there. That's oil from where I was dripping down from where I was oiling the window regulator. But you can see there's a bolt. Something fell probably when they're assembling the car. They probably, you know, dropped one of these bolts. So that's exactly that bolt. And then they just got another one instead of fishing it out of the door and just left it in the bottom of the door. And I bet that screw that's missing out of that track is somewhere in the bottom of the door here too. In fact, I think I see it right there. Yep. So there's the screw that's missing. Was missing, I should say. And I think I'll just, you can see see right there, there's body filler right there. So somebody's repaired a hole on that outer skin, which is kind of what it looked like, and they just pushed the body filler through the skin of the door. But the bottom of the door looks all good. It's all, you know, you can see the stuff dropping out. Another screw. That's like one of those screws, so they probably, when they assembled these cars, if they dropped something, they just left it in all the pine straw, typical in the southern states. So yeah, the door is, let me put the window back up and we'll look over here. Yeah, it's in some of the rubber from that seal down here in the bottom of the door. So this door is definitely in better shape. There's a little peeling right there, the sound deadening. And some more pines. Well, no, that's the rubber. That's actually rubber hanging down from that thing there too. So yeah, I got all that rubber new. The latch. Yeah, this door's in far superior shape than the other door. There's some, is that another screw or something down in there? Oh, that's the rubber buttons for the drain. So let me get this cleaned out and then we'll take another quick look. There, I'll try and get a little better light on the situation. I can't see what the viewfinder is looking at, so we're going to see this together when I edit the video. And the door bottom is in excellent shape. Yeah, much better than the other door. Let me see if I can get the light. I don't know if that filler spot shows up in there now or not. Way up in the front corner there. I think I'm getting shadows from the camera, but I think it's visible there. So the this door is in really good shape. Let me run the window, get that thing out of the way there, and I can shove my light in here. There. Then you can kind of really in good shape. Excellent shape for 54 years old. Yeah, I don't think you'd ever find a door in better shape than this. There, now you can see that little bit of filler sticking through where the rod is up there. I'll cut that. That's about the same as the other door, the driver's side door in that same area, and I'll just I saved the template for the other door on the front, and I'll just flip it over the other way and we'll make a new piece there. And I think the back here needs nothing. Let me put the window back up so I can get in here. There we go. See if I can get some light on the situation in there. Yeah, that back corner, that needs nothing. There. Yeah, super good shape. All right, let me get the glass and stuff out and get the door off the car. And as long as I'm here, there's a stamping right there, 427 3C. So this door, that one says 412 3C. So this door must have been stamped or assembled right around the time this car was ready to roll down the assembly line. I took the window stop off, the two bolts here that, you know, so I could roll it down further, and I have access to those screws. And I might have to loosen the wing window, but if I can, I'm going to take as little of this door apart as I need to. You know, the other door I had to replace the window regulator, so I had to take it all apart. This door I don't. So I might leave some of that together. Well, I had no choice but to take the vent window assembly out to get the screws out there and there to get the trim off here. So I didn't have to take the glass out. I'm going to leave the glass in the door. It's pretty secure right there. And I'll just be careful with it. And got all the goodies in a box. This is the trim that went on the, you know, right there. So, yeah, so in order to get those two screws out, you definitely need to take your, at least unbolt it and lift it up enough you can get a screwdriver in there. But you know what? I just took it out. It'll make it easier to paint and do the body work. You can see there's no, the other one, this was broken right in here, and this one's fine. And so this door needs way less work. So maybe yet within the next few minutes I'll get it off the car here. It's pretty much all. I got the door handle and the lock cylinder off. I got to take the latch out. I got the weather stripping off. I got to pull little plastic tabs. I just kind of stretch it just a little bit to where it pulls out of these, so I don't damage it trying to, as if you try and pull these, even if you use the proper tool, just doesn't get in there good under the weather strip to pull those out. So I just stretch the weather strip just slightly enough to where it pops off. So I'm going to get the latch out and unbolt the door from the car. There we go. The door is off. So I'll beat that filler out, clean this up, and weld new metal in here. And then there's a crease, almost the full, from starts right there and ends right there. And then there's a dent there and a dent there. And that's the only damage I can really see on the door. Oh, and there's a dent, two dents right there. I don't know if I can, but we'll get that all fixed up. Bottom of the door's in good shape. So this will be a much easier repair than the other door. Gotta wipe that oil up that leaked out from lubricating the window regulator. That'll cause paint issues. I'll clean that with lacquer thinner really good before I do anything that's even seeped out there, and I'll do that. But I'll get the striker off here and get this sanded out, and I can paint the door jamb. I didn't have anywhere to put the fender, so there it is back on the car. And yeah, it'll look nice all completely done up. I'm really happy with the way it's going. All right, I'm going to wrap this video up. I got my lawn. I do both of my neighbors on each side. I do both their yards this year. Lori has some issues. She can't get out and do it, so I told her I'd do it for her. And my neighbor over here, he does his back with one of those zero-turn riders, but the front of you would have a lawn service do it, and they always did a crummy job. It was a how fast can I do it job, not a can I do a nice job job. So I talked them into not using them, and I told them I'd do it for them just so it looks nicer. But I'm going to call it a day, and tomorrow I'll start working on this door after I do the yard work. And I got to go up to my dad's and do yard work too. So, you know, I'm going to work on it as I can, but tomorrow I'm going to try and get this all cleaned out and get a patch made and maybe welded in, and then I can start bumping this, get in there. I think I can, the window still rolls up and down, and so I can roll the window up and get in there with my dollies and hammers and maybe tap that out as best I can, and so it, you know, so it doesn't have a ton of filler in it, and get the door jamb sanded out so I can spray that too. But that's it. If you like my video, hit the like button. If you want to see this door in the same color as the rest of the car and back on, subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.